It is October the 31st, 2019, and the housing crisis has started again. Only this time it's going to be worse, and it's not only the housing crisis, it's much, much more. Stay tuned. Yes, folks, it has started. The housing industry has priced everyone out of homes. This subdivision of hundreds, maybe thousands of houses has been abandoned. The whole subdivision's been abandoned. There might be two or three people there because they cannot afford housing. Whatever you're making, your income is not enough to support what these greedy people want for housing. Here is another subdivision with hundreds or thousands of homes not even completed, and people have just up and left and abandoned them because it's not sustainable, it's not realistic. If you're making $40,000 a year, you cannot afford a $500,000 home or a multi-million-dollar home, and it has gotten out of control, and this is going to be bad for the United States. This is what's happening now. Thousands and thousands of young people have chose to go on the road and live in a van, camper, motorhome, homemade tiny house, whatever they can find to live in, to keep from spending their hard-earned money just to own a house. It has become non-essential anymore to own a house because they're fed up with it. You know, they make good money, they went to college, got a degree, and now when they get out, they're going to spend all their money on a house and on paying back their student loans. I don't think so. They are smarter than that. So what are they doing? They're buying anything and everything they can find, whether it's an old vehicle, new vehicle if they got a little bit of money saved up, and they're getting on the road. And a lot of them have jobs, and what they do is they have a hotspot with them or go where they can get internet, and they work on their computer, and they make a living on their computer, and they can see the United States at the same time for a fraction of the price that it costs to live in a house. Now, if you're renting a house or buying a house, it's going to cost you anywhere from $1,500 up to $5,000 a month. These people are smarter than that, people, and this is the straw that broke the camel's back. And they said enough is enough. And now you have all across America, all these subdivisions being abandoned again. And these young people have come to their senses and said, I'm not living my life and working my entire life just to pay for a house, when it takes all their income. And most of the time it takes the income of two people working full time. So they have no time to enjoy their life. And here's another indicator of what is going on. So the interest rate has been dropped again. So that's 3 times in a row that the feds have dropped the interest rate, hoping to contain what is coming, and there's no way they can contain it. So the Fed is dropping the interest rate, and at the same time putting billions of dollars into the stock market so the stock market will stay up. What's wrong, people? Don't you remember 2008? This is the exact same thing that happened in 2008, except for that was probably 25% of what is happening now. I would say this recession or housing market crisis will be 3 times what it was in 2008. It's like trying to catch a falling knife. You don't know when to get out of this market and stuff. But I'm telling you, this is what I see. It will become much clearer by the end of this year that the Fed cannot control this market. It cannot control housing prices. The only thing that's going to happen is people are just going to quit buying houses, and they're going to do what they have to do and live several families in one dwelling to be able to survive. Everything has gotten so expensive, you cannot make enough money to pay for things. A car, for Christ's sakes, is now $60,000 to $100,000 for an average car. It is outrageous. There is no way that this is going to work. So it's been a great 10 years. Everyone better wake up and smell the coffee, because this is real. This is happening. The news media is not reporting it, just like they're not reporting on anything that's going on out in California with the thousands and thousands of people living on the streets in tents. You cannot find a picture on the computer other than a private picture or a Google map or anything else showing the people living in the streets, because they cannot afford housing. It is over, people. It is over. We're going to start over again, just like 2008, except for it's going to be a lot worse. Hey, don't forget to subscribe, give a thumbs up, and ring the bell.